Yeah, it really is like. Good Good morning, everybody. What is up? I got a haircut. All right, I think we need to go to casting settings. By the way, guys, I will be casting the second set with T90. A date, not a date, unfortunately. A job fair. Next weekend, I'll be gone. I'll be in Washington, D.C. Going to a job fair. I guess I should check to see if these are live games or Rex. Let's see what Mr. Tristan is doing. New streak? You gotta be on your toes there, Hans. Where? Ah, there we go. Lewis versus running civs. That means we should already have Lewis versus running maps, and we do. There we are. Like an adult. I mean, it's not like I did nothing after my stream yesterday. Well, actually, technically I did do nothing because I took a nap. But afterwards, I was working all day. Including making dinner for my family, job stuff, YouTube stuff. I recorded the first 2 scenarios of Aradiboya. Oh boy, first sighting, guys. Running's got the Mapuche. Lewis banned the Muisca and the Tupi. Mango, Austrian, much deep. I want to see the Mapuche, man. I really like all of the new civs. Also, I literally couldn't cast if this was on the old patch, because it deletes your campaign progress when you switch patch. So, like, I lost all of my Lautaro stuff, but thankfully, like, I switched patch when I had already, like, I had already beaten the campaign. But, like, now I'm in the middle of Aradiboya, which is a good campaign. I really like the second scenario. In the Hybrid Fest, there's TTL. I mean, they're good. They're all good in aggressive settings. The Chompies definitely feel a little too good in Dark Age. I don't think they're OP the rest of the game, though. But it's hard to tell. Nobody has a conclusive answer yet. Anyway, we have Stranded, so Hybrid Map, Slopes, and Tulo. Well, I mean, they're the Eagle Warrior-ish unit. They actually are countered by archers in large numbers, but the Chompies trade a lot faster than Eagles, so it's a bit tougher. Twitch video preview? What? That's odd. So what are the sets today? Ooh, Liereyy and TaToH. T90 giving me a good set. I don't believe you. I don't know why we're not in the lobby yet. 3-0 for Liereyy. Yeah, yeah. AoE 2. Okay, I need to see this. "20 decades," yeah. Come on! Give me the new civs! I don't know about you guys, I'm really enjoying the new civs. I'm a little concerned that the chompies are, like, a bit too good in, like, Dark Age, but I think other than that, the civs are totally fine. It means La Tower was solid. It was solid. I have some critiques of it, but overall, very solid campaign. Procreation maxing? Oh god. Alright, looks like running is in the lobby. And with them starting on Stranded, we have to imagine this is going to be the hour of... I actually have no idea. You don't go Mapuche here. Lewis is probably just going Persians or Japanese and doing something reasonable. Okay, running is going to use Turks for Tulo. Probably Mapuche for slopes. Maybe Mongols. My procreation appeal is not... Oh, it is through the roof. Okay. Okay, the haircut helps. Inca chompies with Mapuche chompies. Any minute now. Champion. Apparently Champy is the Inca word for mace. So that's where you get it. But yes, this is going to be our first official tournament match with the new DLC. So, I mean, we get the new balance anyway. Oh, wait, this all means new water. Are you ready to go clink, 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 clink? All right. So click the right things? I mean, yeah, I'm not too sure, honestly. All right. Look beginning here in just, stranded in just a moment. Yeah, they did a bunch of buffs to the Kobukson. But yes, I finished the Mapuche campaign, and I am like halfway through the 2P campaign. All the buttons there, it's a lot. The university as well. Alrighty. Let's do this. You do indeed hear Lith music. All right. Some of the few only color swaps I actually do is purple and blue. So what color should we make Lewis? Lewis has always been a blue or red guy to me, but Running's always purple, man. Running's always picks purple. Anyway, Running himself will be here in the purple as the Lithuanians to the north of Stranded. First official major tournament game on the new patch. Green? Green works. Get our toxic color combo. Equals Vinch. I mean, there are only 8 colors in the game. More than 8, and there are more than 8 players, so no one player can claim a specific color. Although Vinch is certainly the most famous purple picker. Lewis, my homie. My main home slice, Lewis. What is this house being one tile too close to the TC? Max is the cyan guy. Viper is always associated with yellow, even though other people also pick it. And Nick Stirs, thank you for the raid. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We just now started the TTL match here between Lewis and Running. Player color DLC, easy. Yeah, TaToH is a red picker. Nah, Doubt's blue. Doubt is never bothered to pick a color. Hera also picks blue. Obviously, Backed is an orange picker, the OG orange picker. Vilasa as well also used to pick orange. Sell it for DLC for €10. Easy clap. Lierey's a green picker. Yeah, I can't even imagine a 5v5. That would be ridiculous. Ornlu. It's okay, you can call me Ornlu. Thanks, Nick. You do when you're 13. I like yellow personally. Like, I'm a yellow picker. I don't even like yellow in real life. To me, the reason I like yellow is because it provided a very clear contrast. Yeah, Yo doesn't care about colors. Each match, yeah, Liereyy will jump around a bit for sure. But like, the plurality of his color picking is almost certainly green. Heart as well, I associate with green. Although I feel like he probably color picks less than he used to. Yeah, I'm a yellow and gray picker. Aaron Squirrel, there you go. The Ornlu fans. One day, one day. Anyway, nothing really to talk much about so far. 0 seconds idle time for both players. A great start. We do have to favor Lewis in this set. Now, he did get the win versus freaking Andy, which is pretty big because he's the first gold player to win a game, other than Mihai. But Mihai, honestly, I feel like Mihai and Dark should be swapped, because Dark came from Platinum and Mihai came from Gold, but I think that would be swapped based on their current performance, because the last TTL was a while ago, even though Dark got top 4 there. The Dark just isn't super active these days, it seems like. When the job fair comes out empty? Exactly. But I've been working on redoing my resume. Oh, now, wouldn't that be fun? Intermatch activity. Me working on my resume. I tried to make it a lot more skills-focused, and that's what my cousin was helping me with, instead of just, like, listing things I did. A little bit of idle time for running. It's going to be clicking up faster than Lewis, though, who's just now picking up Loom. Oh, the job market is, like, basically, you know, disaster. With all chat suggestions? Exactly. Microsoft Excel, you know it. Hey, man, I have the Job Search 2025 spreadsheet. Twitch chat, update the resume. Look at this, guys. This is the sum total of my job applications so far. I've listed every single one. Genie, I literally have no idea how to work Genie Editor. All right, running coming in here with the militia. Obviously taking the very aggressive approach. Does Lewis have a forward dock? Unless I'm missing it. He has the 2 at the back. That's it. Running himself does have 2 docks. And it's Hulkin time, obviously. Men-at-Arm upgrade coming in. Here comes the tower. Anyone I talk to? Yeah, that's true. Now, Scotty doesn't know. It's 150 a copy, yeah. Alright, archery range coming in here from Lewis. A very passive opening. He's got 2 Hulks as well. 7 fishing ships to 7. A resume there. I've actually looked at World's Edge for jobs, but they don't have anything I'm qualified for. But I do check occasionally. Ghosting and rejections and forget about it. I try and be a bit more organized than that. Gimmick designer. I'd probably make units too boring. Anyway, Men-at-Arms taking some damage, and so far running not getting enough done. All right, 1.42 movement speed. There you go. Fishing ships able to escape to the dock. And look at this. Villagers are actually going to punch down the tower. That's going to be nice for green. Going to allow him to more safely gather wood there. And so far, everything is going fine for Lewis. You can make it intact. Tetris. Oh, we start beekeeping. Yes. Not too sure I'm qualified to be a beekeeper, especially because I'm allergic and then therefore terrified of bees. The tower defender? Oh man, that was such a sad comment, man. Anyway, running has gotten 2 fishing ship snipes. You can see down to 5. That said, there was the extra investment into the Men-at-Arms that really haven't paid off for running. Don't get the reference? I lost the respect in a detailed comment of how I lost the respect by apparently publishing a just me jerking off the devs and not asking hard-hitting questions. Even though the point of the interview was not, hey devs, what's wrong with AoE? It was, hey, why did you design the things that you did? What was the logic and inspiration behind these things? Get on Ornlu fans. Okay, well, I mean, like, why didn't I talk about the broken lobbies or smurfing? And it's like, that's not the point of any of this. Anyway, now we have some high-octane Hulk-on-Hulk action here. Oh my goodness, isn't it fun? Isn't the water rework something to rejoice about? Now, we do have a scout here for Lewis. Went to Epstein's Island. I don't think any of the AoE players are rich or influential enough to go to the Epstein Island. Now, overall KD is still comparable. And the dock is going to add... Wait, are those flaming arrows? Okay, this is a little bit of the S word for Lewis, guys. The docks don't do a ton of damage, but you do get 3 anti-ship damage. And based on the low Pierce armor of the Hulk, it's actually a lot of damage to Hulks early on. Yes, that's exactly the problem. Demos now being better, I hope, is a bit of a way to deal with Hulks that doesn't involve more Hulks. Hulks have ropes. I think it's a capture age thing. Actually, let's double check and see in a Hulk fight to see what capture age does. Anyway, Vil numbers are even. Res collected, though, are better for Lewis, and now he's pushing here on the land with a superior army. Only 4 skirmishers versus 2 scouts and 6 archers. Soiree. No, the S word is sloppy. Yeah, so it just doesn't show the ropes in capture age. I don't know why. If you look in-game, it does. That's how the unit works. See the ropes going everywhere? Swappy. Alright. Porgy wants out. Alright, more high-octane gameplay. Looks like running has lost some stuff. He is on his way up to Castle Age, though. Defensive watchtower coming in, but is he going to have enough food to do anything useful? I don't think so. Like, what's he going to do with Castle Age? No, there's no FCing anymore on this map. I honestly think this map was just solved. We used to see some interesting FC stuff, but now it's all just fast feudal age. Yeah, the one thing Running has going for him is the fishing ship numbers. He's got 7 to 2. And this food income is really like all the food income he's got, because now as these villagers are tasked to other things, they're not going to be able to do as much. We do have fletching in for those archers. You have to be careful, though, as Lewis. I'm a little worried that Running is going to get slapped around in Platinum, because we are a friend of Running here on this stream. But obviously, like, great gold performance does not necessarily mean you're Platinum ready. That said, I really think Lewis is underappreciating how good docks are. Running showing off some big dock energy here. Like, look at that. I really just don't think he appreciates how much damage that does. From this map from Wandering Warriors? Was Wandering Warriors a 9-bill start or a 3-bill start? I'm trying to remember. Some of us hate exercise. Alright, Ville's coming forward. Yeah, okay, we do have a Knight on the lane. There's the second stable from Running. Far above average. Alright, no medium warships yet. We can no longer sail down Warg Alley. 3-bill start? Yeah, that's true. Oh, really, really bad fight there for Running, though. He really needs to get that medium warships upgrade, and I'm not too sure why he is not. I think he can afford it, right? Oh, jeez. I think the 150 wood 100 gold is medium warships. I think. Oh, careful of the Vills. They die very fast to Hulks. Anyway, I mean, your Castle Age timing advantage isn't lasting that much longer, so I'm still a lot perplexed as to what the next step of your master plan is here, Running. Because now your food income is completely shot, right? Because your fishing income is not that good at this point, and you don't even have that many fishing ships. You're going to hit Castle Age in just a moment as Lewis. His eco's way better. And I just don't think running a few knights across the map with poor upgrades is really going to be good enough. Like, the early Castle Age knight timing advantage that we used to see in the meta was like, okay, the knights had, you know, bloodlines, +1, +2, and actually were, like, well upgraded. Nowadays, it's like you're rushing up to Castle Age. You just don't have enough for your knights. Anyway, now everything's falling apart here for poor Running. Mr. Platinum. Indeed. Alright, second TC coming in here for Running, but he's already so far behind, and this is where you just are not going to keep up with Persian eco. We got a Monastery coming in. We're going to be on 3 ranges here as our Persians player. And the Knights are just not good enough. Now, is there a world where he has enough relics to, like, make some magic happen because Lithuanians with relics are silly? Yes, for sure. But I just don't think that your eco is really going to enable this. Does snipe a couple camels there, but there's nothing to stop the CA numbers, and this is like the issue, right? Is with everybody rushing up to the Castle Age, your food income is rough, man. 5 on food right now for Running. You can't make knights with that. You can make cav archers with 8 on food, though. And because everybody has poor food income at this point, then it benefits the guy who obviously just doesn't need to spend food on units. Kind of surprised that was only 1 conversion. See if he gets the conversion back. Nope. But yeah, no bloodline. Or no, he does have bloodlines, my bad. He's on 3 relics, actually. Yep, new patch. You can tell by the hulks. Siege Workshop is coming in. Running's not out of this yet. But no +2 defense and no husbandry are both very, very bad, obviously. It's like your eco is not at all set up for going for knights here. No horse collar on the farms. No wheelbarrow in. And you're just not going to be able to get a good number of knights out, especially relative to your opponent's cav archer numbers. Projectile, is it fast? It looked normal to me. We can double check in the Genie editor, though. Most projectiles in the game have a movement speed of 7 tiles per second. Yeah, guys, look, he just cannot sustain the knight numbers. The cav archer numbers are slowly but steadily rising constantly. Hello, Malamadre. Okay, a couple scorpions out. Yeah, the new garrison flags are pretty. Yeah, it's just not enough, guys. I like the tower here. That's going to be a conversion there. I mean, now you have 17 on food, but you still have 18 on food as green. He's now getting horse collar, and he has wheelbarrow. Yep, new civs are in TTL. We have Mapuche drafted. The other 2 civs were banned by Lewis. We'll probably see Mapuche on slopes. Oh yeah, new Incas as well were also drafted for sure. $74 to 61 bills. The macro is very good for Lewis. He's about to be 3,000 resources ahead. Well, now a lot of it is wood, but he's also ahead in food as the guy not going for knights. And there's Parthian tactic coming in. Third TC over there to the west. Still no +2 defense or husbandry in for running. So you're not going to be able to make this work with so little food income, man. And very bad eco upgrades. Good monk control. Very satisfying unit, for sure. Hello, Mr. Tryram. So, oh, because I forgot to relabel this to Platinum League. How are you guys liking the new DLC over there in Devland? Are you happy with how it's going? Oh, big attack round there, but if there's no vills to repair it, you're going to just die to the tower, so it's kind of a moot point. And let me tell you... Oh, hold on! Not OP enough. Seems like the Chompies are pretty OP in early game. It doesn't seem all that insane to me. Alright, Ballistics is coming in. Your eco balance is still pretty bad as running, though. I just don't think he can sustain this. Although you're not working towards a castle. But yeah, the Cav Archers also have pretty good upgrades. Wait, did he really get Parthian before he got Leather Archer armor? Like, Bolas Riders are a little bit better against mounted units than Cav Archers, and a little bit worse against everything else. Lost a lot of respect from me. It happens. It happens. Yeah, these knights really could use that +2 defense, though. And just any better blacksmith upgrades. Got fishing lines incoming. Yeah, YouTube comment was rough, man. I mean, yeah, it still remains to be seen a little bit, but early game Chompies are probably overtuned. Okay, yeah. Again, it just doesn't work when you don't have food income, guys. It just doesn't. You have green going for the cheaper, easier to mass up unit in Cav Archers, and he's defending, and he's got Persian Eco. It just doesn't work over time. And so Lewis takes game number 1. But, like, he didn't lose water. Like, he was up to Castle Age faster. He still had his fleet intact, and he didn't get the War Galley upgrade, or medium warships upgrade, rather. But my fears are very much confirmed, because that is just a Hulk fiesta there on Stranded. Now, that was the first pick versus the last pick, for sure. But we'll have to see, guys. Tulo, Regicide is next. It is almost certainly going to be the Turks here for running. What is Lewis's counter pick? I don't know. The last map is slopes, so I feel like it's probably going to be Incas versus Mapuche there. You could go Japanese. Mr. S. Lopez. Oh, no. Sigh, sigh, sigh. Alright, so Turks versus probably Japanese. Or Wei. Japanese or Wei. Probably not Teutons. Because remember, guys, better closed map Civ, Japanese than Teutons. Oh, Daniela, thanks for the raid. That's what Faith decided. Big Nintendo news? I did not. And only 2 from North America? Yeah, so the thing is, Malamadre, North America, in terms of large, cohesive civilizations, was actually somewhat limited in both what we would call Central and South America, depending on if you want to call Mexico North America or Central America. Once you get north of central Mexico, right? Like once you get to the deserts in the north, the population density really takes a big hit because, you know, people don't live in the desert. Now there was irrigation in the American Southwest. And that's where we had the Navajo and the Mesa. I forget the name, but basically there was a culture there. We don't know that much about it. Out east, there just wasn't the population density that there was down south, as there was no large scale agriculture. So you still had small-scale hunter-gatherer societies for the most part. Now, we could certainly add civs around the Aztec and Mayans. But that is, you know, still in the same ballpark. Yeah, the Iroquois / Haudenosaunee is AoE 3 time frame. That's 1600s into the 1700s. So that just didn't exist in the AoE 2 time period. Hamster wheel, yeah. Alrighty, guys. Here we go. Game number 3. Yes, the Mississippians were a civilization, but we just know so little about them. It doesn't make for a very good AoE 2 civ. Because the civ itself would be mostly fantasy, and you couldn't make a campaign for them because we just don't know enough about them. From early 16... We actually don't. There is nothing in AoE 2 that goes into the 1600s. Young Point is 1598, and that's as late as we go. That was AOC. Alright, guys, here we are. Turks from running, playing the valiant, traditional, actual AoE 2 civ here, and Lewis playing the smelly, overtuned new civ. Massive land. Generally speaking, we say that Mexico is... Like, the way Americans learn it is North America is Panama northward. Central America is Guatemala, Belize, down to Panama. Then you have the Caribbean. And Mexico sort of being the bridge between North America and Central America. That's how it's taught in America. You know, United States of. But yeah, we only consider, once you get to Colombia, to be South America. NAFTA? Yeah. And obviously, like, there's crossover between, like, Latin America. As Latin America is, almost every country in the Western Hemisphere, except for the US, Canada, a bunch of the Caribbean islands, and then, you know, Guyana, Suriname. They come up regardless of player. Oh, yeah. It's certainly a thing. All right, Feudal Age is in. Those villas are retreating. They do not have Loom. Yeah, big old conquering builders. Yeah, so the thing is... The civilizations in this DLC were civilizations, right? They were very real, distinct, you know, cultures. But what they weren't is giant empires building in the sense of, you know, the Eurasian civs. It's not Mexico? No, it's not. Well, Baja California is Mexico, but not the state of California. Anyway, running is on his way up to Feudal Age. 27 pop, although 3 of it are in fishing ships that are currently busy not doing anything. Like a lot of small tribes. So Tupi represents a lot of different, like, tribes and tribal confederations. But there were a lot of them, right? There were a lot of the Tupi, like in the millions. And obviously, while, you know, there's distinctions between all these different tribal groups, they were still very widespread and still possessed similar overall basic cultural identification marks. Yeah, I mean, it's all silly in my mind.
Is it?
We're in the Brazilians, indeed. All right. There's the barracks. And seeing it and hate it already? I mean, I liked it more when you couldn't dock here. peak was the same as current Sweden. That is insane. I didn't even know that was a thing. Region? It seems like it's going to be Scandinavia. That's what all the hints are at, right? Probably going to get Danes and Swedes, and then Vikings reworked into Norse. That'd be my guess. Yeah, Ensemble Studios. Yeah, I'm not feeling the naval rework yet, guys. I am not feeling it now, Mr. Krabs. I do think the naval rework, you know, it works just fine in the context of a full water map, but the issue is that most maps that players encounter in tournaments look like this. Well, remember that the ensemble maps have had the benefit of getting refined over many, 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 many years. Able to go, yes, that's a big one for sure. Melton Mine, they do at least consider it for sure. Anyway, running is only slightly faster to Castle Age and is well behind in economy. Like, I think it's fine.
Evet. Hazır.
Yep. Remember, Hulks do 1 less damage now per hook. Oh, 1 HP on that Hulk. That's a big save. The scout can't go there. Anyway, this feels like you have the Civ with the completely overbearing economy. That's just going to outmuscle the traditional classic Civ. You can patrol stack with Hulks? Oh my goodness. Alright, TC here for running. Now, as we get into late game, Turks should just completely slap around the way. But I don't see how you're getting to late game without an enormous eco disadvantage. Fast enough? Well, the issue is the new armor system. Because you only get damage versus long-range warships. That's the only bonus damage that happens. But the issue is that galleys don't work in small numbers. So this is what happens constantly. Oh, I don't think running is going low eco. I think running is trying to boom it up. You know, get the map... Oh, wait, hold on. That is definitely not what you're looking for there, is Lewis. Versus fires after all. Oh, they do? Oh. Oh, so you nerfed the overall attack on Hulks, but gave them the same bonus damage versus fire ships to keep Hulks as a counter to fire ships, but made them worse against everything else. That makes sense. So now, so you had to get rid of the, or you had to add another armor class back in. Anyway, eco upgrades are on their way. Nice snipe there. And it's Shenbei Raider time. Now, I am going to have to refresh my memory on the patch notes. I remember Shenbei, they had a wood cost increase, I think. And what was the other one? Train time, that's right. Alright. Trying to keep these in mind now, you know? 3 TCs versus 2. Lewis's eco is still going to be way better, if you know what I mean. if you know what I mean. Yeah, so Xianbei Raiders, the way they work is they are basically a Kipchak. They are weaker, they are cheaper, especially on the gold cost. They are actually more expensive on the wood cost. But they also fire like this little volley of extra arrows so that they can deal more damage. He's the worst, because he's the worst. You gotta stay close to your enemies, man. Yeah, guys, we're casting TaToH versus Liereyy with him, which should be pretty fun. Alright, relic number 1 coming in here from running, and he is just gonna try and keep this a pretty darn macro game. Now again, the villager numbers are still comparable. The res collected are also pretty comparable, so that's a nice win here for running. Because remember, what you don't want is running is to be in this situation where you can't apply early pressure to the way. And then you also can't, you know, outboom them. So the fact that this is even competitive feels like a big win for running. That said, it could easily change going forward as the overall build numbers are still better for Lewis. And yes, these are nerfed. Oh, that monk's gonna have a bad day. Rip. Alright, another stable coming in. Xianbei Raider numbers are slowly climbing. They are still fundamentally easier to produce than Cav Archers. What does that tell us about you? Oh no. Alright, another little kill over there. Just trying to keep his opponent honest, so to say. Still 3 T's for each player. Versus, well, I mean, they're going to be better than regular light Cav thanks to the extra Pierce armor for sure. Still comparable economies here, but the eco upgrades are certainly favoring Lewis at the moment. Buying food for Bloodline, so he's actually getting more military upgrades. So is Lewis, though. Civ Icons tier list. I like all the new ones. I didn't even remember making one. Am I a movie guy? I'm not really a movie guy. I mean, there are movies I like, but I'm not really a movie buff. The waypoint flag tier list? Yeah. Oh, the micro! No husbandry in for either player. I don't know. Lord of the Rings, The Godfather, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? They're some of my favorite movies. Alright. Oh, he's gonna go for the relic! He's gonna make like a rodent and go for it! Alright, guys. This is gonna be big, though. Husbandry and +2 defense for the Turk Cav. Alright. Oh, I thought he'd be trying to snipe the monk. Seems like a bit of a wasted opportunity. Anyway, 5 Pierce Armor, guys. These only take 2 damage a hit. And these are well upgraded light cap. Now, actually, also look at this. The eco balance has to be set up in such a way here for Lewis that it's expensive to go for these Xianbei Raiders. And it's really slowing down his food income. Running has 38 fills on food and no wheelbarrow, just to make me very sad. He is going to get that relic, though, which he probably shouldn't have gotten. Last relic is over there. Yeah, no husbandry in yet. Ballistics is big, for sure. Lewis also gathering a lot of stone. Yeah, American History X is a definitely very intense movie. Little derpy. But only 36 HP here for the Xianbei Raiders. Obviously very, very, very low. There are 8 of them on the way. How many ranges does he have? Only 2. Anyway, running's very close to clicking up to Imp. He doesn't have the building, though. And that is certainly a bit of an issue. And right now, Lewis is going to come forward. I like the outposts. Oh, that's going to get picked off. And here comes the forward castle, guys. Imp is on the way for our Turks player, though. And what we can appreciate here from running is that he's made the game one that he's going to feel more comfortable with, right? This is a closed map, macro-ish style game. He's going to be on his way to Imp, and he has the better Imperial Age Civ. Still, no castle for running. And more Xianbei Raiders are incoming. Oh, big committal here. I guess he doesn't even have fletching for the TC, but you gotta be careful. Yeah, that's a lot of dead Xianbei. I think Lewis is just not respecting how bad the Xianbei Raiders are pound for pound like that. Alright, here comes the castle. Eco's heavily disrupted, though, for running, and it's obviously a lot worse than the way Eco anyway. Yeah, Lewis hasn't even clicked up yet, guys. Okay, now he did. Selling 1,000 wood, though. Okay, those quick balls are certainly helpful. Castle is coming in here at home. I mean, if anything, the wood income is pretty rough right now for running, which he obviously needs for, like, trebs and stuff. Just waiting now for his Hussar upgrade. Well, he doesn't have a siege workshop, so yes, he's going for trebs. All right, Hussar's in. You get that extra 15 HP right away. And that is not anything to be ashamed of. King Snipe? I mean, you could, but right now, if I'm running, I'm just focusing on winning the video game. Heavy Camel coming in, obviously good against a Cav Civ. Lewis actually did get 3 relics, though, which, again, he probably shouldn't have. And running is doing enough, I think, to make his opponent's eco just bad enough that he's actually in a pretty good spot at the moment. First trap is going to be out. Bills are here nearby to repair, though, and running has no stone income. More stables are on the way. Yeah, the Tiger Cav are not really going to be doing very well here. They're not an anti-camel unit. I mean, yeah, Lewis himself can't get to traction trebs at the moment. He doesn't have the siege workshops. As right now, everything's focused on the clippity-cloppity horsey units. 5th TC, though, and right now, running is only on 2 TCs, which I'm not a big fan of. I wish he had added one at least over here to the south. Oh, it is an interesting game, because it's the actual classic Civ versus new Civ dynamic. And now Pikemen... Well, I mean, Pikeman upgrade is incoming. But if you're forcing the Wei player just to go into Halbs, it really doesn't feel impressive. And there's Heavy Camel in. And obviously, Turks themselves can just easily add in hand cannons or cav archers. Of traction trebs? Well, I mean, like, that's the whole thing, right? Is you don't have regular trebs, you have traction trebs. Well, forward castle falls. Fletching now incoming. I imagine you want to get to cav archers here. You know, Hussar plus cav archer. Loach one on the way. Oh, boy. You do get the discount. But yeah, this still doesn't really feel good for Lewis. I do really wish running Eco was better, though. He could have added more TCs. Yeah, now he's getting Cav Archer upgrades. Man, remember when Turks were a gunpowder civ and didn't just go Cav Archers every game? But, I mean, those Loach ones are still going to be very expensive for what you're getting out of them, I think. Alright, it's CA time. Been a tech tree for a long time. Yeah, but it's really the metagame that's focused much more to Cav Archers. Yeah, double traction traps are on the way, but we are so bad at pushing, man. Now, for some reason, Lewis actually has a big score lead. I guess it's just the eco. And he's still 4,000. Alb is going to be in. CA numbers are still in their fledgling stage. Now, you have to be careful yourself here as running. You don't want to lose the king there to the snipe. And here comes another forward castle. Where are the Trebs, actually? They're kind of sitting at home here from running. Remember, no last armor upgrade for the way. Their halbs are not that great. Losing the range there, obviously not ideal. There's Sipahi coming in. It's still a switch that you need to do, as I have a Discord notification. Yes, way sure do drop off in the late game, but you are running out of archery ranges here, and your Housed is running it. I mean, Lewis is at max pop, man. His macro is honestly just a lot better. Oh, where's the king, by the way? Oh, my goodness. He was actually, I think, going for the snipe there. But no, didn't work. No HCA in. I mean, these halbs are very poorly upgraded. But you can see running is almost equal in army value with Lewis, and running is at 146 pop at the moment. That's it. Running's gold income is going to be quite suspect. No stone there either. More T-Gray Cav. Doesn't allow treason? Yeah, you could research treason. Unless for some reason they specifically disabled it, but I have no idea why you would. There's nothing inherently overpowered about treason. Alright, HCA coming in, guys. These guys are close to fully upgraded. They just bring Archer armor, so running, not messing around. He's getting to his full upgrade HCA. Yeah, again, the macro is quite significantly better, honestly, here for Lewis. I feel like that's what he's good at, right? AoE mechanics. This rings your archer armor for sure. Now, still very little stone collected for running. There's Elite Tiger Cav. But still, they only max out at 7 Pierce armor, same as a Paladin. Like, Castle Age Tiger Cav are a lot better than Imperial Age Tiger Cav in terms of, like, relative strength. Alright, guys, Sipahi Cav Archers. Emret. Alright, Mingguang armor is a huge one, though. Gives you that very important 4 extra melee armor. Oh, gotta be careful there with your bombards. Alright, both players coming over here to the north. Oh, Insta! Insta! I mean, army value so much higher right now for running, guys. 8.2k army value. Is this enough, guys? Big fight over here. Obviously much, much closer to the reinforcement points, but the halbs are doing their job. Is it enough? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Luchuan's still here, and gold income not so great. Again, running Zico is not as good as it should be, man. I mean, just so much more gold as well here for Lewis. Actually, less gold collected. But I guess he's just spending a lot of it on Halb. Tunchen coming in. Or Tunchen. Of course, need to try and snipe those traction trebs. But now the Tiger Cav are really start to get scary. Oh, now the Trebs are under threat. Uh-oh. He taps out. Yeah, I mean... It really was, I think, a bit of a macro issue. Like, you had a huge imp timing advantage. I think the switch into Cav Archers honestly wasn't that good. I think if he just pushes with hand cannoneers behind it, it's just so much faster. Oh yeah, he was also only 1 TC. I mean, I think this game is just a good demonstration of if you have the better macro, you can win a lot of games, even if you take not the best engagements. Or you're the much worse Civ. But yeah, I do think that there was definitely a bit of a macro issue there. And I think switching into the camels was not the best. And that was definitely Running's best shot there. Number 1 Civ pick. Turk helps. Turk don't get pikemen. All right. No Mapuche. Just Incas. I know. As usual, it's Incas. If you wanted to change it, Trirem, you should have done it 20 years ago. I know it's not 20 years ago, but... Yeah, why is it Aztecs then? Imputee for Maya? Horkans. Of course, in our hearts, it's always El Dorado. All right, it's Chompy time. Yep, new Incas. 1 house plus the barracks. Oh yeah, I think they should have changed the name. I will still always call it El Dorado. Yep, pre-lumber camp. Now remember, it's not much of a discount. It's 5% food discount, but the house bonus is critical. Different names now. Yep. Yep. Saracens used to be the only civ to have both of theirs changed. Oh, Persians as well, my bad. Saracens and Persians were both. Yeah, running into the Mongols here. It is the traditional power civ for this map, for sure. Very early walls. Oh my goodness, guys. Oh, careful, careful. Game over. Okay, that's like a complete disaster. Like, literally the whole point of these extremely early walls is to prevent this from happening. Now this is a mess. Now he's gonna lame the boar. Oh, jeez. This is rough, guys. Lewis able to maintain eco behind this as well. Alright, now going over here to the side. Your Mongols without a boar. You went for super early walls, and they weren't enough because he just ran right by the TC. And the Incas do this better than anyone else, right? They're better than any of the 3 new civs when it comes to the chompy rush. But militia still beat chompies, but the issue is that they can't engage them. They can't force an engagement. The chompy rush? I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, but like you still want to be able to rush with them. Like you want to be able to go for what the equivalent of a men-at-arms rush with these civs. Yeah, it's only 5% food cost though, so it's 5% of 45, so whatever that is. So you can't make them run slow in the Dark Age because they're your scout unit. The issue is that it's both your scout and your militia line, right? Chompy slow? That would be kind of confusing, though, because they'd be different units. Both players click up at the same time. And how does Lewis have 2 more bills? Oh, no, he doesn't. My bad. I'm insane. Going over to gold now. Running is ahead in resources, but only just. Which is not what you want. Oh, yeah, and the settlements also give you 10 pop space. Jeez. Ethimbal. Wait, why is this a thing? Huh? Why is he trying to fight with that Vil there? Someone want to explain that to me? Like, that's not a chompy OP moment. That's a literally, why did you guys go fight with your Vil there? Alright, 12 seconds away from Feudal Age, but it's a slow uptime. When you're going up on 22 pop with no advantage. Oh, is he going FC? Okay, 1 chompy scout left. Chompy runner coming in, DBA as well. I feel like you're just gonna die because you have no food income. Silly pop beetle? Oh yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, running it, isn't he just dead, guys? I don't really get this. He's also going Market Blacksmith, which I also don't get. Guess he has like 11 Vils working. He's got 4 on food. Okay, that's going to be just enough to click up to Castle Age, but then what? Oh my god, guys, he has no food. Oh my god, this is so painful. Oh my goodness, it's so slow. Forward range coming in here from Lewis. We have the lovely South American architecture. Tower coming in too. Like, again, this isn't even going to be a good Castle Age. He has nothing he can do with Castle Age. He can't even go for Step Lancers. Now, he does still have food income, to be fair. But guys, we're getting to 13 minutes into this game, guys, and running hasn't made a single military unit. So interesting. Like, I think he just wanted to, like, full wall and go fast castle, but I don't know. Doing with recovery? Better. Better. He's healing at a pretty good rate, actually, so we're very happy with the progress. It is getting more infantry play, that's for sure. It's even the swordsman equivalent. Now remember, guys, Chompies are not as good against buildings as men-at-arms are. But they're still decent. They're slightly better than Scout Cavalry. Now, Step Lancers should do extremely well versus them. But Knights? What? We do have Fletching in. Like, this is a fast castle that would be considered a fast castle in, like, 2010. Not a, you know, 2025. Now, it's not like Lewis is clicking up anytime soon, but his eco is just humming. Gonna lose another Vil there. I don't get this, guys. Running has 19 Vils. Lewis is just cruising here economically, man. So the first time we see a South American Civ, it's a Dark Age Chompy Rush that completely obliterates an opponent. Oh my god, that's nonsense. You should not be able to wall all of... Oh my god. Oh, they did. I guess they died over here. That is ridiculous, guys. I mean, this if the game wasn't over before, and it was over, it is super giga over now. But are Mongols even the best FC Knight Civ? I don't know. I don't know, man. Step it up? I know. I mean, that game was just a disaster from running. It was effectively over when you let the 3 Chompies in. That was really it. So far behind in all resources. Could not get any counterattack damage done. Well, it would work better because you'd also get to the base faster. So unfortunate there for running. Unfortunate. No, he literally picked Mapuche. So now running is going 0-9 in the group so far, man. This season of TTL feels really stratified, where like the guys who came up from gold are really struggling, unless your name is Mihai or Lewis. But next, guys, is Liereyy versus TaToH, which we will cast with T90. Right. I don't know. Don't ask me. Let's go find out. Liereyy, it'll probably be Liereyy. This set seems like it is live. Now, it's not scheduled for another 30 minutes, it seems. It would seem. Oh, let's see what our base has to say. I mean, yeah, we'll find stuff to do while we wait. I'm gonna get some more coffee, though, guys. I'll be right back. All right. What's up? Do we have any news? $17.45. Okay, we'll do some our grid and then GeoGuessr. Indiana, it's really, really stupid, and my fan of the team ends at the state line. But I don't know, how are stadiums funded in the far lands of not America? Because what we do in our freedom-loving country is that the billionaire owners of the teams hold cities hostage and say, if you're not going to pay for our stadium with tax money, we're just going to go and move our team somewhere else. So it's the billionaires who get all the profit, and they also have the subsidized funds for the cost. Closer to Chicago? I mean, part of the issue, though, for Hammond is that it has a terrible reputation in Chicago itself. Like, Northwest Indiana is like the post-industrial chemical wasteland. Like, it's not a nice place. With a location and stay there regardless of ownership? Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. I mean, like, but the Chicago Bears have been in Chicago for, like, almost 100 years. It's just and the ownership family has owned the team since, like, the 50s or 60s. They just don't care. Which do next Friday? Oh, that's exciting. Except, I would prefer to play the emulator version on my phone because I can get Alakazam there. The city received money from ticket sales. Yeah, we don't do that in America. Only the owners of the team receive money. All right, so let's see. Civ Focus is infantry, has fast fire ship, has a bonus that affects units' carry capacity, and has access to siege ram. Has bombard cannons that are affected by affected by Civ bonus or unique tech, and lacks siege engineers. And has a bonus that are just kind of okay. Start one to climb the ladder. Yeah, I mean, I guess the thing is, like, especially in, like, the NFL, and to a lesser extent in baseball and basketball and hockey, is that the teams are worth so much money. Like, the American sports teams are, generally speaking, far, far more valuable than all but the biggest of the, like, the soccer leagues. Yeah, there are a lot of changes there for sure. All right, so I feel like we can just go through this pretty easily. Infantry and has fast fire ship. Goths. It affects carry capacity. Dravidians. Has access to siege ram. Vikings. Monopoly they've created? Yep. Bonus for unique tech and lack siege engineers. So, Burgundians. What do those cities have, like, bombard cannon bonuses? I guess Italians. But Italians don't have either of these. What other civs are there? Hmm. Oh, yeah, Dravidians. Just do Aztecs here, then. And then, what's Siege Ram? Turks, duh. Yeah. Duh. All right, has a discount and a fast fire ship, Mayans. Carry capacity bonus. Oh yeah, this one can be polls. Yep, Mapuche. Yep. Alright, still have no update there, so it is geo-guessing time. And it's a cornfield. I would say it looks like home, but there's way too many hills and whatnot. Dovatoy Tor Hassan Giveler Obasi. Is this... Is it Hungary? Is it Turkey? Is that Turkish? Most random, I don't know. I don't follow minor league baseball. I don't even follow Major League Baseball except the World Series. Oh yeah, also Hungary wouldn't be this hilly for the most part. Anyway, it's very forested, so I'm kind of thinking like... near the Black Sea, maybe? Have a farm in Beloit, Wisconsin? That's insane. Oh my goodness, spores are friends, not food. Thank you so much for the 10 bomb. Thank you. That's very generous. Here, let's go back to the start. I think we're like somewhere around over here. Are we on the European side, maybe? I don't know. I'm gonna say somewhere over here. Oh, you're actually in the west. Interesting. Oh, they even give you a hint. Grainy roads. Many roads in Turkey have a grainy look from the mix of light and dark local stones used in the asphalt. Interesting. Anyway, welcome to the Wolf Pack. Pepe No Soy, Fair Tori, Wizard of Bracada, Ancient Bolt, Ragnar XYZ, Little Bobby 410, Tina Salad, Sargouth, Kick KJ, and Mega Monkey. Enjoy the beauty, glory, and majesty of Ornlu Wolf and Friends. The new campaigns? I've only done the Mapuche one so far, and I'm halfway through Arariboya. But they're good so far, for sure. For sure. Black Sea Coast? I thought so. Oh, this is very Europe. Willadingen. Willadingen. We're driving on the right side of the road. Held her guns! Burn? Yeah. I would guess something like that. The styling there on the houses. The moo cows. Alright. Zurich is northeast on 1. Alright. Here's 1. But is that one the same as this one? It doesn't look like it. Oh, okay, here's one again. Yeah, something around these parts. Just curious, I've been doing GeoGuessr as like a time-killing activity since I started streaming. Like, literally since 2018. It's like something I've always done. In Switzerland, many road signs have a thin middle border that gives them a clean, framed look. Global? I've done that before, I think. Setting matches, first match was not that great. This killing time, killing AoE too, for sure. Well, these are very pretty flowers in the middle of the desert. That probably requires a lot of irrigation. Oh my goodness, guys, look at this. Nothing. Beautiful plants. Oh my goodness. I mean, that feels like Dubai, man. Or, you know, the Emirates in general. Yep. Uh-huh. Yep. Yep. D63, here we are. Is there like a circle somewhere? Traffic circle? Yeah, we're not downtown, obvious. Oh, maybe we're right here. Yeah, we should be right here. Dang it, we were further out. Oh, a tiny traffic circle, curses. I mean, obviously very close, though. In the UAE, the outer road lines are yellow, and the white center lines can be white. That's how we do it in America, too. That doesn't feel like, like, that's literally how we do it in America. High tides and stranded and slopes. Mm-mm-mm. What fun maps, guys. Are you ready for clink, 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 clink? Are at least gonna see some new civs? Nope! Nope, Liereyy banned the 3 new civs immediately. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yep. I need to update the audio settings.
Liereyy, TaToH. Hello, Ornlu.
Hello, Mr. T90.
I saw Vikings on the draft, and I had to double-check the tech tree a little bit, you know, just to get a feel. It's wild. I think Vikings can be really good on hybrid maps now.
Oh, yeah, they are going to be top tier. I mean, not only do you get fire ships out of nowhere, but you also get the counter to fire ships as well. So you just get that nice discount. It is a little bit less percentage-wise than it was in ye old days, but still having that flexibility with the double discount on the docks and warships is super good.
Yeah. Yeah, and Liereyy, he clearly banned out some of the new civs, but clearly he factored in some of the new changes, which shows that he's up to speed on things. So we like to see that.
Or he's not at all up to speed and just doesn't want to deal with anything new.
Well, I think that's also part of it, right?
Yeah.
I think players are products of hundreds of games, thousands of games. It's new, it's uncertain, and if Liereyy can control everything, Liereyy can beat anybody. So I think for him, he just didn't want any wacky stuff he hadn't faced yet, which makes sense. Liereyy is 6 wins right now after 2 rounds. TaToH is 5 wins. So very likely whoever wins this is the front runner for first place in the group. After this round, they will both only have 2 rounds to play. Good opponents to come, but yeah, one of the biggest sets of TTL season so far.
Oh, yeah, so thanks for having me on for it. Really looking forward to it. I still think Lierey's the favorite. I think that Lierey's just going to be the favorite against anybody except Hera, and he's certainly been dominant so far. Like, from what I've seen, not only has he won, but the matches have not looked even close whatsoever. So,
yeah,
we'll see if TaToH can keep up. He did have a strong result in beating Barles, who is another very, very good player, but, and then beating Lix, of course, is nice as well, but Lierey's going to be another caliber of opponent.
Yeah, and for those that, like, don't know the whole, like, story of Lierey's career, right? Like, he was insanely good at a very young age. This was a crazy long time ago. And then he was always getting second place, which is kind of the story these days too.
Yeah.
But there was a period where it was clear, like, Liereyy he isn't doing the small things, right? He's not getting the relics. He's not playing towards late game very well. He's not being patient. He was just so good that he could play towards crossbowmen and arbalest and beat you. But these days, man, it's like all the tiny little nuanced things that you have to do at high-level AoE, he's doing as well. So it's really amazing to see, as far as I know, not full-time AoE like many of our top pros, and he's putting in the time.
Yeah, and I think that just speaks to the sheer talent he has. He's always struck me as just one of the most naturally gifted AoE players we've ever had. And, like, you probably remember this, like, his first, like, splash on the scene when he beat Viper in that best of 1 many, many years ago now. And it's like, even back then, everyone was like, oh man, this guy's good. And he really has the chance to be a top-level player, and he really has. He's never really dipped below that top 4 or 5 for a decade now.
You wanna get an idea, though, of how inactive these guys are on ranked, right? Everyone loves ranked. Everyone likes to talk about ELO. My uncle has played hundreds of games, and he's a massive noob, and he's 63 years old. TaToH and Liereyy, who have been around for 10 plus years, I guess on the definitive edition, so the last 7 years, have played 1 ranked game against each other. 1. And it went to Liereyy, okay? That is how little both of these players, they just train for tournaments. They will occasionally play a ranked game here or there, but they really just don't play ranked much at all. In Titans League, they faced 3 times. Liereyy has won 2 sets. TaToH has won 1. In tournaments, it's gone 15-8 with sets. So that's a lot of times they faced each other. There's, of course, the 1 ranked game. And then the predicted outcome we have here, I guess, based on all the data we have, is Liereyy 2-1. My prediction was Liereyy 2-1. And the community prediction with the prediction contest, 63% also voted Liereyy 2-1. So not sure what you think.
I think that's really the safe bet. I think Liereyy is just such a well-rounded player, and he's not really going to make any mistakes. And if there's anything that TaToH can do, it's get a little too cute at times, trying to like really force a fight that maybe he shouldn't have, or try and like go for like a fast age up when you really want to play a bit more macro. And so it's going to be, I think, a little bit tricky against Liereyy, but strategically TaToH can, beat Liereyy that way. So it's still, I think, very competitive.
Yeah, I think also the ban, we talked about the civs and the bans. Very smart from Liereyy to ban new things with TaToH.
Yes.
TaToH is the guy to come out with the strategies. Many strategies that ended up being meta in the future were because TaToH had started it at some point. So we are into it here. I'm going to switch the colors up. We're going to put Liereyy in the blue for this.
Sure.
And TaToH in the red. But probably... this is probably the biggest series so far in Titans League Season 5. We're at round 3 now. Liereyy sitting at 6 wins. TaToH sitting at 5 wins. So winner of this play all 3 likely going to be the front runner for top of the group. A reminder, if you're top of the group, you get a bye past the round of 12 into the quarterfinals. And I think most importantly, once those playoffs come around, Ornlu, you're then separated from all the other group winners. So you can, in theory, avoid some really tough matchups early on. So TaToH as the Romans, Liereyy as the Dravidians here on High Tides.
Yep, very standard map to start things off. I mean, I think this is the most played map in TTL. At least that's what I would guess. Players love their aggressive hybrid maps, and this one is just a known quantity at this point. It's been in your tournaments for a long time now, obviously with small adjustments here and there, but these guys know exactly what's going on with it, and 2 strong aggressive civs here with Dravidians and Romans to kick things off.
Yeah, so both infantry civs, both civilizations have played infantry very consistently throughout this tournament. Infantry, then archer is the normal standard land follow-up. But I'm just kind of thinking about it like, is that what TaToH wants? Do you want a situation where you're playing archers against Liereyy? You're going for the same build against Liereyy? What is there something TaToH can maybe do to leverage the Roman bonuses, or maybe the new water changes to just punch Liereyy in the mouth early on here?
I think that might be a good idea. I mean, to be fair, how can you not leverage the Roman eco bonus? I mean, you can try really hard, but short of idling your villagers, I don't think there's any way you can not leverage the Roman eco bonus. But
that's fair. Yep.
Beyond that, I think that what makes Dravidian so strong for Liereyy is they're not a civ you can get the jump on. They're so fast. They're so strong in both the land and water in early feudal age that if that is something that TaToH wanted to do, I feel like Dravidians are going to be a tough civ to do it against.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think with that 5% greater efficiency bonus, I think maybe you just are the one to defend in early feudal. You don't get the additional wood like the Dravidians get. You don't get the cheaper barracks technology. So yeah, there's just really not a lot you can do to get the jump. But if it's even with the damage dealt in mid-feudal, I guess there you'd maybe benefit the Romans a little bit. The thing about this map that could be an issue for the Dravidians long-term, usually this map does require a lot of mobility. There's the north, there's the south, there's a lot of openness through the middle. So Dravidians struggle there as they're an infantry and archer civ.
Yeah, Dravidians don't do things on horseback very well. Not too good there in the jungles of southern India. And that makes sense. That said, if the game goes long, which we see high tides either end really fast or go really long, at least that's what I've noticed so far this season, if you can get in the long game, defending the choke points and the hills in the middle with castles, and then sort of bouncing back and forth with a big blob of archers and infantry, does feel like a way you can approach this in the late game as Liereyy.
Yeah, now TaToH has this tendency. Hold on, TaToH is bringing his Vil. I think he wants to loom up and wall this in. Liereyy doesn't have loom on the way, so Liereyy thought he would be fine. Liereyy gets the quick walls there. Nice early shenanigans here. But if they'll let me complete my thought here, TaToH loves to go all in Castle Age. So I think you need to end this before this ends up going to the Imperial Age.
Oh.
Blocks happening for TaToH. He'll
Gets
kill
it.
the Vil.
Loses the scout, though. I don't think there's any way you can save it now. Just try to get that one last hit in. That's it. The scout is only at 6 HP, so it's not going to be anything that devastating. That said, I love the early kill there. I do think that, okay, we look at, is a Vil kill worth losing your early scout? I think on this map in particular, you could argue it is, because that Vil won't be there to repair.
Well, I agree. And then also the second dock, right?
Yes.
The second dock is usually a very common strategy, and it's normally that villager that does it. That doesn't mean Liereyy can't just bring another Vil. But yeah, and the other side of that too is we already talked about what's expected from Liereyy. Most likely going to be man-at-arms and archers. So I think TaToH, he just thinks through this. He's like, well, I could lose the scouting intel. I'm going to wall as if I'm going to be pressured by man-at-arms anyways. And as long as he doesn't make a mistake in not prepping for that, I think that's probably a good start for him.
Yeah, this feels like a Civ matchup where you can just blindly open defensive skirmishers or archers or, you know, some combination thereof and feel pretty safe against what Dravidians are doing. That said, Lierey's early build is very good. He's already going to have his 5th fishing ship out. TaToH is only going to be on 3, and that's going to do a great job of mitigating for those early losses on the villager, as another one is going to be joining here in the north.
Yeah, and so pretty clearly Lierey's not playing man-at-arms. It's funny, maybe if TaToH had his scout, he would have gone man-at-arms, but now he knows TaToH has to defend from it. Maybe TaToH's expecting it, so he chooses to instead just go for the heavy water. TaToH is blind, of course, to what Liereyy will do, and he will go for the early barracks and man-at-arms, which Liereyy did see. So I think with the barracks timing, he should be aware of what's to come here.
Yeah, still not aware of the second dock just yet is TaToH. Militia are going to make their way out onto the map. Not going to get lucky with the scout pathfinding into the militia, so Liereyy, he is going to know exactly what's going on. He knows that if your opponent is going for the men-at-arm play, chances of them having a second dock as well are very low. So Liereyy can feel pretty confident that he has a great shot at winning water here as 2 fire galleys are immediately queued up.
Is that the play here, though? Aren't Hawks good against fires? Shouldn't he be going Hawks here with the new water balance? I'm not sure. I haven't seen
that's right.
like a week ago, yeah, fires, but now you get Hawks, and everyone should be aware of that. Liereyy obviously banned some of the new civs in his draft, but if one dock Hawks could beat 2 docks fires, this could actually be really problematic for Liereyy. I just haven't seen it enough. Lierey's got his work cut out for him. Early tower on the back, early walls on the back because of the man-at-arms.
Yeah, this is already a good early defense here from Liereyy. Having all those back resources really does help in that aspect, and going for the back gold is part of that. I mean, you have the Vil here. You can block with your fishing ship. Hulks also train faster than fire galleys do, which is another benefit of the unit. And it looks like...
That's what needs that. He needs the repair.
Oh! Not quite enough there.
Remember, the dock also fires arrows now, but it has minimum range. So if the units are right next to the dock, they can't end up going for the attack. But I mean, this completely changes hybrid, right? I was more excited for this than the new civs, just to see how is water going to work on a map like this, because normally 2 docks beats 1, game over, right? But here, I guess it is 2 docks versus 2, but TaToH is able to use some damage control, and Lierey's just really forcing it, which so far might end up being the play, but let's see how many units he actually survives with.
Yeah, I think Liereyy was going for fire ships and then literally remembered, oh wait, Hulks are a thing now.
Yeah, I think he did.
That really is what it feels like.
Yeah.
But that's fine. But keep in mind, guys, Hulks have very low pierce armor. Yes, they are the ship to go for in this situation because they counter fire ships, and galleys are awful in these close water situations. But they have 1 pierce armor, and docks have 3 base pierce, and they get 3 bonus damage against ships. So it's really a lot of damage that these docks dish out to the Hulks.
Man, there's been so much activity on the water here. I expected an earlier archer range from TaToH. He didn't do that. He's actually going for the blacksmith. But this is what TaToH likes to do sometimes. He likes to go a little bit off the meta. He's clearly trying to remain competitive on water here. But this is where I would like... I guess maybe this is why they nerf demos, because they don't want a demo here to just rock Liereyy. But it feels like with what we used to have with the balance, that demos in these situations would be the normal play. No demos in queue for either player.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like wondering if TaToH might want to try and flip the fishing ships over to the other dock so they start firing, and that's exactly what he did. Hulk's taking a lot of damage there. You have the infantry armor upgrade for TaToH, but he only has 2 swordsmen in the first place, and they're kind of weak, so that's not going to be too big of a deal. And now Lierey's going to have archers on the field, and you really need your own archery range to deal with enemy archers. It's really tough to play AoE these days and not go for an archery range whatsoever in Feudal Age.
TaToH is just being so stubborn, though, right? Like, he did such a good job. He still hasn't lost all of his fishing ships. He's still keeping them around. Liereyy will have to dedicate so much more time and focus onto the water than he was really hoping for. I think Lierey's still doing a really good job at that. But even with it being Liereyy, usually the archer player is going to have a really tough time taking down Roman armored infantry when he also has to micro with the Hulks. And there's the example of it. His first 2 archers get hit a little. Really nice play from both players here as we see the Hulk Fest continue.
Yeah, TaToH not patrolling in there for a moment. Forging is coming in. Still very... Actually, does it matter? No, it doesn't. Because remember, guys, Hulks got nerfed from the Thalassocracy Cup patch.
Yep.
So they now only have 4 base attack instead of 5. So that means that because Hulks deal melee damage, you're running into the 4 melee armor of the other Hulks. And because of the minimum 1 damage in AoE 2, you're going from 1 damage to 1 damage. So I don't think that should matter.
Wow, yeah, I mean, I think you're right on that, right? Just looking at the stats. If it goes to 4+1, it changes nothing.
Yeah.
So, but the Thalassocracy Cup was how they tested the balance. They obviously made the changes. But Lierey's investment there, I mean, TaToH's getting forging as well. But at least TaToH's investment is going to have an investment onto the man-at-arms. And I got to say, these docks have just been wrecking here. There's 8 kills on the docks. Great job from TaToH to use the new feature, new bonus.
Yeah, and I think it's a way that you can counteract the fact that you don't have as easy a comeback mechanism on the water with demos being weaker than they used to be. So at the very least, you can garrison the fishing ships and utilize that as a, defensive play so that if you're a little bit behind in ship numbers, it's not like immediately over. So it's a little bit of a different way, more consistent, but less high ceiling, I'd say, than it used to be.
The thing is, though, there's still this continuous issue for TaToH, and it's that Lierey's just on archers and doing very well with the archer numbers. So Liereyy getting to crossbowman can still end this game. TaToH spent a lot of his food on that. Now it's Lierey's turn. Lierey's like, you showed me the way. I'll just garrison my fish now. And the arrow fire's not quick. It's very subtle, but subtle differences can obviously make a bit of a difference in close battles. But I'm just a little surprised that TaToH made as many man-at-arms as he did. He will hit the berries now, but so far he has not had any value from them. And of course, he finds the value after I say that, and he'll kill 2 villagers.
That is nice, but TaToH's army can be dealt with much more easily than Lierey's army can right now, as we have, 6 archers now in the base of TaToH. Those quick house walls are essential, but this is, what we were saying. There is no good answer to archers without your own, skirmisher play. And just going in one by one with those skirmishers. They have padded archer armor, so at least they're a bit tankier, but still the numbers are not in his favor. TaToH's still trying to keep this game messy, though. Yeah,
I mean, we talked about the worker efficiency. So often, if the KD is the eco KD is 7-2 for the Romans, they will be 1,000 resources collected ahead. But here, because Lierey's macro has been so smooth, Liereyy is 500 resources collected ahead. So that just tells you how good Liereyy is at controlling the game. And there he goes, on the way to Castle Age.
And he's actually getting his own men-at-arms upgrade, so Dravidians do have a pretty smooth transition into the longswordsman, but, I mean, honestly, is it going to even matter all that much? He's getting so much damage done here, and because he spent so little food, right, he didn't go for men-at-arms, he didn't go for skirmishers, he just went for ships and archers, and he got the farms down quickly. The food eco was just never really touched. He had more fishing ships in the first place than TaToH, and so with all of the chaos that TaToH's created, it just hasn't fundamentally really done anything in terms of putting Liereyy behind economically.
Yeah, now if TaToH can use the market and get up soon, maybe there's still some advantages for him, but I agree. This is exactly why everyone predicted Liereyy to win the series. He's just so good. And honestly, there's a lot of potential long-term problems with his base setup. His main gold's forward, his berries he didn't take, but he's just stuck to that back wood line and the gold underneath the tower. He's obviously held on water. Can you tell me, Ornlu, is the cost... Do you remember the cost of the warships upgrade? Because I don't have that memorized yet.
150 wood, 100 gold, I think. It's fairly cheap, but it now costs wood instead of food. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's really realistic then. I think Liereyy should be considering getting that just to continually snowball the advantage he already has on water. The TaToH's counterattack will be a little too late. Liereyy got Man-at-Arms, and then he built a stable. Like, he wants to make elephants anyways. So I think he's a little indecisive on what his Castle Age army choice is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, the elephant will obviously kill any of these feudal age units, no problem. And he immediately queues one up upon reaching Castle Age. More Hulks are here in the amazing Hulk on Hulk action that is going to be dominating AoE 2 indefinitely.
Yeah. Well, replace the fire ships, but also the demos don't do nearly as much, it seems. That demo from TaToH did not recover the fight very nicely for him at all.
No.
And there's the warships upgrade, and with that, I think TaToH has lost the water.
Yeah.
He's got no chance of holding it, and TaToH actually taps out. Honestly, he sees the elephant. He still wasn't really on the way to Castle Age. And Liereyy just... I mean, there was a lot of action there. Can we just appreciate that it's 36 kills and 34 deaths? That was a crazy game to end basically before much happens in Castle Age, but Liereyy just so clean throughout all the chaos. His eco management is just so good.
Not only is the eco management so good, but the fact is that Liereyy had the earlier fishing ship, so he had an eco lead over Romans before the fishing ship kills came in. And then you're just in this situation where you have to get so much damage done as the guy going for the more land-focused approach that's why I always am a little weary of these sorts of more land-focused plays, because the threshold of an acceptable amount of damage done is so much higher.
Yeah. But, I mean, I think part of it for TaToH comes to the value from the Man-at-Arms. He got armor on Man-at-Arms. He produced, how many of them here? 9? Right? The difference in the game, maybe if he stays on 3, he has a competitive Castle Age time here. It's not like TaToH didn't have as much food. He had more food, but he spent a lot of the food on those units. It's just the margins are so slim when the players are this good, and these are two of the very best. That's ridiculous, man. I had so much I wanted to talk about with balance.
Yeah.
We barely ever had time because of the action.
Stuff happening from the get-go.
Yeah. Well, TaToH, I think he would recognize he's played Liereyy enough times. Obviously, Lierey's going to bring that type of level to a map like High Tides. He goes for Stranded now, which will be more water conversation. That's for damn sure. But Liereyy undefeated so far, 7-0 in TTL 5.
My concern for Stranded is that it's very similar to High Tides. It's an aggressive hybrid map. So your ability to have a cleaner or Dark Age, and your ability to leverage these very fine advantages in Feudal Age are usually what decide the game, and that's obviously what happened in the last game. And now we could be seeing something similar here. And also, that's what Liereyy is best at, right? Getting those fractional advantages in the early game.
The key difference, though, is in the previous game, if you lose the front of your base for a little while, it's okay, because you have the same amount of, similar amounts of gold and wood and everything all in the back, right? You can boom back into the back corner, no problem. But on this map, if you tower the back of your base and you lose the middle hill and you lose the wood lines, the list goes on, it can be really dangerous. Interesting civ choice from TaToH. I'm curious if he tested this. I've seen this a couple times. Not the biggest fan. Also, viewers, sometimes we have people title their lobbies with their player's name. Sometimes we have people title their lobbies with official text. Here, Liereyy has titled the lobby ASD, FASD, FASD, FA. So, gotta love the differences there.
Yep.
Guy's 7-0, by the way, and that's his lobby title here. But yeah, Stranded game 2. Lierey's playing as the Italians, a very good water civ. And then TaToH is playing as the Huns. What do you think about the Huns on this map?
Well, on the one hand, you can get the Hunnic horse to go pick up all those water buffalo, which is amazing because you can delay farming a ton with it. On the other hand, you can't go for a dock right away. And that means that your fishing ship that you start with is very sad, because it can only sail around and watch the more productive fishing ship of your opponent.
That's literally what he's doing as well. He's actually just sailing around with it. Yeah, so I've talked to some players since I saw this from Mr. Yo against Hera, And I think a lot of people have Huns being good on this map in their mind because there was a slightly different version of Stranded with a 9 villager start. And Huns were really good there. So, because when I've talked to people, some people have been like Hart showed up in my chat and said, Huns are sick here, right? But then I started to have more conversations and I was like, well, how are they on like the 3 villager start? Have you tested it? And they're like, well, it should be the same. I'm not fully convinced. I feel like with the way the drafts play out, you need to be absolutely certain your civ is dominant. I feel like there's better civs for it, but basically you have to take the wood, recover the wood to eventually get a dock, get over there, drop a dock, and you're hoping to not too far behind economically, and then that this horse changes the game with the scouting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good sort of mid-run bonus, right? It's a disadvantage in the like very early game because you're behind in resources. It's an advantage once you get to like mid-feudal age because you can delay the farming. But when it comes to a very aggressive map like this one, I take the bonus that applies faster every single time.
Yeah, but let's keep a close eye on it, right? Mr. Yo, it didn't look too good, but maybe TaToH's got this build down pat here. Liereyy will bring in his first elephant. Lierey's got a lot of elephants around as well. He's got 2 more elephants very close by, plus a lot of water buffalo.
Yeah, he's still got plenty of food to get going. Italians have that cheaper age up, and he'll be able to go up quickly and make lots of hulks. Or go for men-at-arms, or any sort of variation thereof.
Did you happen to see the silver set of Bad Koala versus Nahwell?
I don't think I saw that one.
Okay. So Bad Koala, I know you know him, but
yes.
I described him as a player who just kind of shows up and YOLOs. Like, I don't think he's a player who necessarily is super practiced or prepped. He's been around forever. His style is very unique, right?
Yes, for sure.
He picked Huns on this map. And then, as you know, when the TC completes, your horse just kind of like pops out and it's right next to the TC. And he put 2 of his villagers inside of the TC and tried to rally them on top of his horse to eat it like it was a llama or a sheep.
Oh, no!
Multiple times. Like 3 different times I saw the villagers hop in and out and like appear next to the horse before he realized, oh, shoot, I'm Huns. I can't eat that. I got to scout with it.
Oh, no.
And then he won the game. And then
Horses
he won
are
the
friends.
game. Like, it's crazy, man. I was losing my mind. I was like, how does that even happen? The reason the Huns can be solid here is because of the horse. But I got to say, I mean, we talked about the downsides. The experience that I had previously, it looked really bad for Mr. Yo because he was 4 or 5 eco down. But TaToH's only 1 eco down, if that. And he will have all the water buffaloes on the map if he uses the horse properly.
Yeah, it's currently 4 to 6 in water buffalo numbers. That said, it's not an issue for Liereyy, right? Because this map is still designed and balanced around you not having the Hunnic horse. So there's still tons of food here in the early game, and so long as Lierey's able to make it to Feudal Age, it feels like he's going to be totally fine, because he has extra fishing ships. It's 5 to 4-ish, and he'll be able to go for water control, and the chances of TaToH being competitive against Liereyy on the water in early Feudal Age seem pretty low.
Well, I'm curious on that, because TaToH did scout with his horse, and he knows the dock position, and oftentimes players are pretty much on the opposite side of this circular map. But here, the dock positions are very close together.
No, he actually scouted it with the fishing ship T90, right?
Oh, what was it? I don't know. Maybe
no, he actually stopped the fishing ship. You're right, it is the horse, just based off the scouting pattern.
Yeah.
I was excited
maybe
for a
he
moment.
scouted it with the fishing ship, and then he scouted it with the horse as well. I'm not sure. But TaToH will go second dock. TaToH will have that knowledge. Liereyy will not. So maybe Lierey's thinking about some type of fast castle, but I think more often than not from the platinum players, we've seen super fast feudal times. It clicks for the Italian bonuses. It is much cheaper, and he gets a lumber camp up, and there he goes. Fast feudal age.
Yeah, it seems like when a map is introduced, there are obviously lots of different ways people will try and approach it because there is no hard and fixed meta. Over time, though, as the maps get more figured out, it feels like players will always gravitate towards these faster openings as that poor Hunnic horse is not going to be eaten, but is still going to die. But I don't know what you think, T90, that it feels like these maps will always eventually gravitate towards fast feudal.
I don't know. If anything, I think it's gone a little bit the other way for me. Like,
Really?
initially, we used to see fast feudals with 3 to 4 fish. And then people were like, okay, we can get away with adding more eco. And at least in, like, it depends on the caliber of player, of course. But I am amazed at the amount of fast castle we're seeing in the other leagues. But I guess here, yeah, it's like once people figure out how they can streamline a build, I guess fast feudal has been the only strategy. But TaToH lost his horse. He's going fast castle. But if there's ever a point where he doesn't have the food underneath the TCs, I'm going to be really concerned here because losing that horse is really painful. If he would have avoided that area, he knew that Liereyy must have been close because he had scouted the dock position. There's 2, 4, 6, 8 different buffalo. That's over 1,000 food that TaToH could still have waiting underneath the TC.
And that is quite significant because, as we keep saying, the chances of you keeping those fishing ships alive is fairly low. Liereyy now, in the feudal age, he is, of course, not queuing up any ships because that would make us look like we know what we're talking about. Instead, it's just going for an archery raid.
Yeah, I was going to say, as you're saying it, I'm about to jump in here and be like, actually, he isn't going for 2 docks.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to go archers. Well, I'm sure in Lierey's mind, he was also thinking through what the Huns are going to try here. And he probably came to the conclusion that Huns would try fast castle cav archer. But saying that, I'm still not completely certain on TaToH's approach here. I actually kind of feel like he might add a stable just because he doesn't have a lot of gold right now.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be a market because you're not going to have anywhere near enough gold for Castle Age. So it should be market. Yeah.
He can't market because he didn't mill, right? So that you're kind of stuck there. I think TaToH's just a little late to the golds, basically.
Well, he grabbed
I think
Loom.
it's fine. Yeah.
But maybe he was, like, sensing that, okay, I lost my Hunnic horse. I don't know if my opponent is doing anything aggressive on the land, and I just would rather be later up to Castle Age than to be caught without Loom. And I think that's just a decision you can go for.
You know what I think TaToH's going to try here? Because this dock garrison completely changes the game, right? Liereyy has to move on to go find the other fish. These fish can go back to work. And then you could turn around and do the same thing with the next dock. I feel like TaToH's just adding the scout for map control, and he's going to just go full water in castle.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly a possibility. I mean, I just like having the scout in the first place just because knowing what your opponent is doing is very helpful. And, of course, he takes a downhill spearman hit because feels bad, man. And yet, it's a lot of vills on gold. He still has a good 1,200-ish food under the TC, so he can go for some knights. So he can take back map control. That said, fast castle into knights so far in TTL have been not great in terms of results.
Yeah.
So
well,
let's see.
To any confused viewers, new update. They introduced new civs, which were not going to be played in this series, but now you have the Hulks instead of the Fires as the choice for early feudal. You do still have Fires. Fires are good against Galleys. Galleys are supposed to be good against Hulks, but I think the nature of Galleys, the fact that you need those upgrades and it takes some time to mass them, still makes them a unit that's not super justifiable here. But when you garrison inside the docks, you save your fish. You no longer just completely lose water right away against early pressure. And it gives you time to recover on water, which you never really had before. So still people are getting used to the Hulk. Some people love it, some people hate it, but interesting. And again, we have forging for TaToH. So does he think that because the Hulks are melee, that in a Hulk v Hulk engagement, forging actually helps?
I mean, to be fair, I haven't tested it. I don't know if you have, T90. I just realized it right now. There's been so many things to actually try and digest with this patch that it's going to take all of us as a community a little while to figure out what exactly is going to be optimal, but I don't think it should matter.
I mean, it doesn't from the eyeball test I just did, so maybe that's enough. That seems like the same amount of damage as Liereyy was doing, but once you get warships, maybe forging then does apply because the Hawks should get an increased base attack, I believe.
Well, they didn't previously, right? All the way from Hulk up to Karak, they all had 5 attack, and it was you get increased attack speed.
Ah, interesting. All right, well, we'll find out.
Actually,
Liereyy hasn't clicked up to Castle Age yet. Siege Workshop is there. That villager can easily get sniped. Lierey's still harassing TaToH's fish. TaToH's still garrisoning. TaToH's essentially hoping that the upgraded Hawks will be superior. Did he cancel?
Yeah, he canceled it.
He canceled the upgrade, okay. Interesting. And his villager did get pushed off the siege workshop. So then he just got forging for the knights, essentially. He probably felt like forging went both ways. It seems like that's what TaToH wanted in the previous game as well. But the siege workshop will complete, and the mangonels up, or mangonels will be out soon, or rams, and Lierey's still 2 minutes away from Castle Age here.
Yeah, and honestly, it's not that bad for TaToH. Like, yes, his eco is worse, for sure. But it could be a lot worse, and if we were on the old patch, he would have lost almost all his fishing ships, and he would be be
over.
All-in mode.
Yeah.
Now he's just a little bit behind, and he just has to get some damage on. That said, the fishing ships are now starting to go down, and TaToH still is not actually set up to win water, although Liereyy is forced to invest a lot into it.
Yeah, well, this mangonel is going to make things interesting, though, because Liereyy could lose his archer range pretty easily here. He could also lose all the villagers there. TaToH has 5 knights already. TaToH will also add monks behind this. And let's not forget, TaToH does not need the fish because he has a lot of those buffaloes. So we question the Huns start. We've now reached the mid-game. This is where the Huns can be extremely dangerous. Liereyy needs to be on point with his defense right now.
I mean, everyone's favorite horror movie, Five Nights at Lierey's. It's scary, man. These guys are taking down that archery range fast. He's going to lose a lot of his Castle Age timing potential. All the archers are actually going to get sniped as well. And the mangonel here, too. It's going to be rough.
Yeah, so archers are just not something you can go for anymore now. Knights are a non-factor. The stone walls were huge. Without the stone walls, those knights are through. Your eco gets pressured immediately. Lovely choice from Liereyy because he has the fish eco and still got some food here to make knights. Knights can mean he can take down the siege. But TaToH has the monks, and TaToH is still remaining competitive on water. So normally Liereyy could just think, okay, I've won water now. I don't need to think about it. That's not the case. It's still a big issue.
I mean, this is really interesting, right? Because right here, we are seeing the less obvious ways that you're not going to, like, really just immediately gravitate towards this. Like, when you read the patch notes, just like, okay, you can garrison fishing ships and docks. But, like, this is how you can leverage that change into actually adjusting your early game builds on a tournament map like this. And
yes.
It's shaking up the metagame a little bit. And I think this is a lot of fun to see.
Yeah, no, I agree. Listen, I came in here expecting to hate the Hawks, all right? And we are not paid for our opinions. Trust me, if we were, we would not be as negative at times. I'm with you, dude. It's really unique how it's changed the map. We've seen a lot of situations where right now, the guy in Lierey's position just simply has won the water and won the game. And now TaToH's still remaining competitive on water. He's got some Hawks in the back to potentially snipe Lierey's fish. And he's taken down the tower, and Liereyy is backed into a corner right now.
He is going for some knights of his own, and because he had the better food income, he can do that. He's getting fishing lines, which is, remember, guys, they basically split guild nets into 2 upgrades, so fishing lines is now the precursor to guild nets. Lierey's going to have some cavalry of his own. They have bloodlines and +1/+1, so their upgrades are actually better than for TaToH's, but TaToH has these monks here, and that is going to be a huge difference maker.
The monks are the key. Like, the siege is valuable to some degree, but if TaToH doesn't get his conversions, he will then be converted by Liereyy, and Liereyy will snipe the siege, and Liereyy will win the fight. The monks are literally the most important thing right now. He's being patient, and I'm sure he's just going to wait. He is also still being harassed on fish by Liereyy, but again, with the garrisons, with the patrols, he's still remaining competitive, and now we have the fight. Will the conversions happen? It looks like TaToH gets his conversions.
He only got 1.
And Lierey's monks need to get the conversions as well. So, sorry, TaToH got 1 there. Liereyy got 0 so far?
I think Liereyy got 1. And then he got a second one right now. And since he has the better upgrades in the first place, he should be winning this fight. 2 villagers are going to go down there. Knights are kind of derping around under Lierey's TC too. And that is actually very good for Liereyy, who is now at 11 villager kills at this point.
Gotta say, though, TaToH does have 3 TCs.
Yes, he does.
He's 3 town centers. The food eco's not amazing. This is where those freaking buffaloes in Dark Age, man, that extra 1,000 food would have changed the game so much. That horse dying underneath the TC is probably killing TaToH right now because he simply doesn't have the food economy to justify continuous night production.
Yeah, and that's when, in the last series, I was so like, running, what are you doing making knights? You don't have food income.
Yeah,
and TaToH himself is going to switch over into CA, which in this map, in this situation, your food income is awful at this point as both players. So going for the unit that doesn't cost that resource is going to be a huge boost.
What a Great series so far. Guys, this has been so close. The previous game ended 36 to 34 KD with Liereyy winning. Right now, the KD is 25 to 25. Try and tell me that these two aren't playing at their absolute best right now. This is so clean.
It sure is. Knights are going to try and dip under the TC. The upgrades are pretty good for Liereyy, all things considered, and idling TaToH's eco is certainly not a bad thing. But T90, TaToH, the guy who has been behind in water control, is ahead in resources right now compared to Liereyy, and that 3TC is going to really kick in pretty soon.
Yeah, I think Liereyy might need to consider a siege workshop of his own at some point on that hill. He's got a lot of space there to work with now. But TaToH, unfortunately, can't house wall, but he goes for the double gates. Which are not, it's not nearly as strong. But he's chasing with the monks. Liereyy has another group of knights coming in. Again, conversions are so critical here. If TaToH didn't have the monks, Liereyy would be taking a bit more of an aggressive chance with his knights right now.
And the Cav Archers are also a good unit for sniping monks. They're fast, they're hard to kill super quickly by the knights. And yet those monks have not lost their conversion charge. And that is... Oh.
The knights underneath the town center. Liereyy just killed so many vills. That's what I was reacting to. That was a crazy raid from Liereyy. TaToH didn't notice. And the Cav Archers still do not have Bodkin Arrow, so they are not very strong. Horrible moment for TaToH.
Oh, geez. I mean, that's what happens when you have so many different things going on, and there's so many different things to pay attention to. To be fair, the Knights are just literally like whacking themselves into the TC. But yeah, these are not the mistakes Liereyy makes. This is the difference between Liereyy and most players in the world, even someone as good as TaToH, is that he just will notice a bunch of knights in his eco like that. And right now, that everything is just falling apart for TaToH.
Yeah, TaToH, he really needs Bodkin. But like we said, he hasn't had the food. And with Cav Archers, he always needs that mass. Bodkin Arrow is on the way. But I was getting a little worried for Liereyy there with the eco situation when it was 3 TCs versus 1. He's got a very healthy one town center economy, has added in some farms, has a lot on gold, and is still adding fishing ships behind this. Still think there's another chance for TaToH. It just comes down to maybe a couple conversions, but mainly the Cav Archer mass.
Yeah, that's going to be absolutely critical. Now, thankfully for Huns, they are the best civ at actually doing this, so there is a chance. And Lierey's going to be starting with a ram here, which I think is kind of interesting because I feel like the Mangonel could put pressure on both the CA and the TCs, especially from the high ground.
Yeah, I guess he just feels like for now, there's nothing that TaToH can do against the ram. He's got a window here where TaToH just can't approach. But in the running Lewis set, the Knight player took big fights before getting +2 armor. I think that's an upgrade that Lierey's going to have to think about eventually. It's just feels so pricey. Every time you're making a unit which is heavy food and gold, and then that upgrade is just, so pricey.
I mean, especially these days, because you're rushing up to Castle Age with fewer villagers than you used to. But back when we saw double staple knights be a very common meta play, now it's way more difficult to afford those sorts of upgrades. Ballistics is coming in for TaToH, which is huge. He lost the 3 relics, and they're even going to be taken by Liereyy, so that's going to be a big damper on his eco. And yet, he's not dead yet. And he still has Cav Archers, which can absolutely just randomly win you the game. Not randomly, but feels like it.
TaToH going through the list of things he needs right now. Ballistics is one of them. That's good. The next thing he's going to need is Bloodlines. And then he's going to need good micro here. He's completely lost water now. So finally, it took a lot of time, but finally Liereyy adding the fishing eco and doesn't need to put any of his attention on water, which is crazy to think that this whole time he's had to worry about that, and he's still microed as well as he has.
I mean, it's just crazy how good the multitasking of Liereyy is, and his eco has been more efficient than TaToH's throughout all of this as well, even when TaToH's been applying a ton of pressure. That said, TaToH is going for a big counterattack here, and the Knights, without that +2 defense, like you're saying, they could start to struggle here, although no Husbandry versus Husbandry is actually super bad for TaToH.
Yeah, TaToH, and he's losing his stable, too. The stable just got rammed down, so he has no stable, which means Husbandry is no longer an option, and the speed difference is clear. The Cav Archers just cannot keep up, and TaToH taps out again. Liereyy is playing unreal.
Yeah, that is very, very painful for TaToH. This was his home map, but once again, just could not quite keep up with Liereyy. And the multitasking and the fact that everything that Liereyy was doing was very streamlined. And the fact that Liereyy went Knights, he still had the fish alive. And that was absolutely critical. Because if you don't have the fish, then you just can't afford all the Knights and those upgrades. But Liereyy was able to do so.
Honestly, it was a great game from TaToH. I can't help but feel like him running out of food to pump villagers out and being late on upgrades was a big deal here.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to restate it because it was a big thing from Dark Age. He had the horse. We've seen games where that horse just collects all of those additional buffaloes. An extra 1,000 food could have been underneath his TC. If he had that, maybe Bloodlines and Husbandry is in. Maybe Bodcanero's in. Maybe he has 2 more knights in the fights. I mean, the tiny things add up. But again, it's like, here's just so tough to break, man. I thought TaToH did way more than was ever possible to be competitive on water here. And he got to Castle Age with a forward position. He took down Lierey's tower and archer range. He was at the front of Lierey's base. It was like he had him near the grave, and then Liereyy turns it around. So good.
And I think the big thing is that Liereyy, although he had his resources idled, he had his units killed, he never fundamentally lost really many villagers that game. He kept his fishing ships alive, he kept his villagers alive very well, and that just enabled it so that Liereyy eventually could start taking those better fights, and the macro was so good that if you're not actually killing villagers, Liereyy will get everyone back to work in an efficient way pretty quickly.
Yep. Wow. Incredible. So play all 3. Every win's still super valuable. Of course, for Liereyy, he's probably big front runner for first place. With how good he plays, yeah, maybe that's predictable. But TaToH needs wins here, right? If suddenly TaToH gets swept, then TaToH is no longer like guaranteed for playoffs like everybody would have predicted here. So this win still matters just as much. They'll be in game number 3, and it will be Portuguese versus Vietnamese on slopes.
I will say where this could actually not matter for TaToH is that Liereyy probably sweeps everybody in the group or comes close to it. So
well, I agree with you, but imagine just one person getting 1 win against Liereyy. No one's ever gone undefeated in a group, ever.
That's true.
So, like, if TaToH gets swept, and then, Rapard's maybe not the guy.
Yeah.
But, like, Barros snags 1 win against Liereyy. That counts as, like, feels like 2 wins over TaToH.
Yes.
In the race for playoffs. So, no, I agree with you there, but you just never know. And this is the only time that TaToH can really control the how many wins he's end up getting here. So he's got Vietnamese for TaToH, Portuguese for Liereyy. None of the new civs in this series. Both players have banned them, and both these civs, very solid and well known.
Yep, these are just, if you want to pick 2 civs that are like top 5 or 6 in every single map and setting, pick these 2 civs. There really is no downside to either of them. You can play any sort of style you want. You can go for an aggressive approach, a bit more passive approach, and it's really just going to come down to how these guys want to approach the game.
Yep. And TaToH probably feels like he needs a bit of a lead, right? Laming is high risk, high reward. If you could steal some sheep, steal some boars, you'd love so, but you just don't know where those resources are going to be. He does know where the opponent's town center is, though, being Vietnamese, and so he's looking around.
Could find a couple sheep.
Circle a little early?
Oh, no.
Oh, nope, he should see them.
Oh, that was...
And he can steal those.
Very close. But yeah, he's going to abscond with a couple of sheep. Now, you do have extra food on this map on either side of the slope, so it's not like the end of the world. I'm going to find 1 boar there at the back, and find another sheep. I don't think he should be able to steal there.
I think taking the boar is maybe too risky if you already have stolen 3 sheep. Like, if you steal the 3 sheep, you just say, alrighty, we're good here. Let's go home and let's play a standard Dark Age and find our own resources. That's, all things considered, worth it for TaToH. And I think, honestly, more people need to do this. It really bothers me when people play Vietnamese and they don't try that little run right now, because by the time you get back home, you still can do everything else you need to do in a standard Dark Age.
Now, what I am surprised by is Liereyy did not respect the lame at all. Like, he brought his scout in the exact opposite direction of the scout of TaToH. So if TaToH wanted to go for the boar steal, he would have had a completely free time doing so. So, like, as it happens, TaToH could have gone for it, but the idea behind why he didn't, I think, is totally fair.
Yeah. And Liereyy, you have a deer on either side here, slopes. We old versions used to be 3 deer on each side, and then people would just push in their deer, and they would never build a mill here, but we have the balance now. I like the pros and cons of decisions in the game, right? So he's got the recovery here with the deer, and he actually went for the early mill. I don't know if you mentioned that, but early mill, you get some wood income from taking the berries with Portuguese. So that will also help him recover the food a little, and he can still get the lumber camp timing.
Yeah, I actually, now that I think about it, remember at NAC 3, you were, like, it was like before you were going to implement slopes for the first time, and you were so excited. You wanted to tell us all about how amazing this map was, that it's going to be amazing in all these tournaments, and yeah, I just remember you being like, oh yeah, so you have like this middle valley area, then you have food on a high ground that you can choose to go for, but you don't have to. I just remember like, cool, man, I'm looking forward to it.
Are you saying that I was very excited and you were just like kind of just listening just to make me feel better?
No, I'm always interested in AoE. I just your veritable excitement was quite endearing. It's
Okay,
not
well,
an act, guys. He's just as hyped off screen.
I mean, I do take a lot of pride in it, to be honest with you.
Oh
So
yeah.
I take a lot of pride in the maps, and it's just, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Now, the funny thing is, I have 0 map scripting skills. Luckily, we have people in the community that can help. So I don't know if I showed you the paint picture, but I would just draw on paint.
You did, actually.
I did? Okay, perfect. Oh, I wish I still had them, dude. I don't have any of them, but I definitely have had like 6 or 7 drawings on paint.
Yep.
It looked so bad, but yeah, that's all I do, really.
That's fun. And yes, you also were showing off pants at the same time. So
No, it was Bay, but whatever.
I
It's
know
fine.
it's Bay, but you know we can't say anything bad about Bay. That would just be
Nope.
inappropriate.
Absolutely. TaToH 19 pop, Liereyy 18 pop, despite losing the sheep. The sheep, it's more about the early feudal age, though. Because without having the sheep and also having gone early to berries, you definitely have less food to work with, which typically means you have to skip horse color on a build this fast. That's way faster than I expected, to be honest.
I mean, people really like getting up to feudal age fast these days. And look at this, Liereyy, he really suspects he's going to be up to feudal age faster. He is just following TaToH Scout. TaToH, I think, realizes it and is just going to try and get some extra damage done because TaToH is very far away from his town center, and he is slower to feudal age. So Liereyy going to get the early kill right there.
Wow, so TaToH doesn't even try and run. He doesn't even attempt to get to a hill there. I'm not sure I'm a fan of that. That was close enough where maybe if you get the downhill hit, you actually have a chance. And there's a lot of hills around. But honestly, I look at his scouting, and he didn't see the ones that I saw right next to him. He didn't see the one next to the relic or the one to the north. So maybe TaToH's just happy to trade off the HP. Because if you trade off the HP from the first scout, you can then wall a little bit more, which TaToH's going to try and do.
And that is going to be exactly the case. That said, Liereyy Scout is still only on 9 HP, so this villager can feel safe going over to the sides and starting to wall, as the scout is simply too low HP to actually kill her. Both players are opening scouts, so nothing too crazy there. TaToH, though, leveraging the Vietnamese bonus and getting that early horse collar upgrade, which is super nice.
Yeah, TaToH, I think, will want low risk here. He knows Liereyy will come aggressive. I think if the Vietnamese can survive the early pressure here, they should be the preferred civilization, just slightly. A lot depends on the transitions. Liereyy will use the food on the side, which of course makes me very happy. And it's all because he's got the map control, and TaToH doesn't see it.
Oh, Scout's going to try and dart in and go after the villager, but are unsuccessful. Note, though, that when you opt for this early mill approach that we mentioned earlier as Liereyy, it means that you are going to go through your berries faster. So Lierey's going to be in an uncomfortable situation right now where his sheep are going to run out and his forage bushes are going to run out. And that's why those side resources are so critical, because he just doesn't have the resources to go for farms yet.
It's just insane how quick this is all developing. Yeah. It's so fast, right? Like, TaToH will lose a villager just like that. And it's just, imagine being TaToH right now. You've lost the first 2 games. You probably feel like you played really well. A player will have a good gauge on if they're underperforming or not. So he probably feels like he's near his best. But Liereyy starts off game 3. High confidence from him. And behind it, the famous Liereyy archer switch with the archer range.
Going scouts plus archers here as Liereyy. And look at this, T90. He's already ahead by 300 resources. This is like a superpower that only Liereyy and Hera have, and I will never fully understand it, but it is honestly, I think, an underrated aspect of how they win so many of their games.
Yep. Well, I mean, I remember a quote. This is a couple years ago. Because you used to think like, micro wins games or macro wins games, right? You pick one or the other. But I remember, I think it was Daniel, and Daniel's always a great player to quote because he's got some good sound bites. And he was just like, the micro wins their games because it sets up their macro, right? It's like if your unit control is so good, you force so many reactions, they have to spend a larger percentage of their time trying to deal with not dying. And then their eco becomes just an absolute mess. So yeah, it's just the perfect combination. I agree. Both players are kind of at the standard of that right now. And of course, I think the only player that can really stop Liereyy is probably Hera. So
Yeah. I mean, the safe money from when the tournament started was a Liereyy versus Hera finals. I mean, that was definitely sort of the go-to. Now, obviously, we still have a lot of tournament to play out so far, but I would say that, generally speaking, the results have been as expected thus far.
Yeah. Well, Hera's undefeated. He will play his third round this week. And Liereyy right now undefeated in the third round. 8-0 so far in TTL. And the Archer follow-up is hit at the perfect time. TaToH was clearly unprepared for this. He had just stabilized into his own scouts. I do think, though, that if TaToH can tower there and check the sides right now, if he can use those scouts to actually go forward, Liereyy has taken some risks there, and he doesn't have protection there. So that would be a way for TaToH to come back. He's market walling. He'll stonewall. He's Vietnamese, so faster researching wheelbarrow, good units. There's lots of positives to come. He just needs to find the villagers. And there they are. No spearmen.
It's coming, though.
Well, it's coming, yeah.
It's a coming. And that, I think, is just such a huge difference. Liereyy is already 800 resources ahead, guys, which percentage-wise is absolutely huge at this stage of the game. Spearman will go down before it can get that last poke in, so Liereyy will lose all of these villagers. This is exactly the sort of lucky break that TaToH needed.
And this is the risk, right? When you're so used to your opponent reacting to you, and they can find a way to play defense against it once, the defense into counterattack can be critical. And now, TaToH is almost fully walled. The army from Liereyy can't do any major damage to deny resources. I think Liereyy might run past the TC, so he needs to be careful. But yeah, well played from TaToH.
Bill has to defend here at home. TaToH actually has several villagers on stone at this point, so it could be looking to go for another tower. There's the market coming in. My concern, though, for TaToH is just Lierey's been able to get the farms down. It was a really tough opportunity when the sheep ran out and the forage bushes ran out, but Liereyy did such a good job getting the side food that the fact that he had to delay his farms wasn't a big deal. He still got those farms down, and I feel like those kills might have come a little too late.
TaToH is fully building a second market right now. Like, he already has the first market. And you're absolutely right. You look at TaToH, he's just finished berries. He's adapt. That's obviously 175 wood he doesn't have to build farms. And even though Liereyy loses vills, Lierey's balance on that one town center, the farm timing and everything is still so nice for Castle Age. Yeah. But if TaToH uses one of his markets, or I don't know, both, why not? Just to balance out the res a little bit. In theory, he should have more workers long term, but the eco is not looking very good.
It's all the eco efficiency. Lierey's going to click up the Castle Age, and TaToH isn't going to even have 100 food or gold. It's going to be a complete disaster.
81% throughout the game for Liereyy, 73% for TaToH. 7% worker efficiency. That's beyond the Roman bonus, which we feel is insanely strong, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably why he doesn't draft Romans, because Lierey's like, I can play with 5% less worker efficiency as a civ bonus and just beat you with my own skill.
Yeah, I mean, obviously crazy performance right now here from Liereyy. Spearman does get a couple of scout kills, but as it so often is the case when casting Liereyy and Hera, I get to say it just doesn't matter if you get these small wins here and there, because you're so far behind in economy that nothing you really do is going to make enough of a difference to overcome the fact that you're behind so much.
You do need to have an advantage getting to Castle Age, right? When you go up fast, you do need to have an army. So half the army just got cleared. TaToH's resources are looking better. You think about TaToH's gold, that's protected with a tower. His wood is rangeable on the outside, and Liereyy might go that direction. But Liereyy does need to be careful. The scouts will also come to his base. So he does need protection there. If one wrong step, like you put me or you into this scenario, right? You lose a couple archers, you don't do enough in early castle age, and then you have worse economy. So this still has to be up to Lierey's standards of perfection. But TaToH's so late to castle, so late. Oh man,
it's rough. Also, it's very kind of you to put me in the same conversation as you, as if you're not like 400 elo higher than me. But you know what? I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Not Ted, he was actually being nicer than he should have been right there.
You had me sweating on that one random Baltic game we played because I was like, I know how it goes, right?
Yeah, you gotta go YOLO.
Because at first I'm like, it's Ornlu. And then I'm like, wait a second. Did he sneak? Wait a second. I've got an army here. And then I was like, I can't lose to Ornlu. He's never going to stop bringing it up. So, no offense. No,
really
I
mean,
player,
I would earn it in that point. And I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yep, that's how it goes. Well, Siege Workshop from Liereyy on the area where TaToH has his gold. And TaToH finds the crossbowman there, loses the villager. Liereyy, Bowsaw upgrade right away, has horse collar for all the farms, second town center, all the advantages you want from the early castle age. Expand the eco and pressure with military. Again, just so clean. Just so good.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. There's another tower coming in, but now you're from behind and doing the literal worst possible thing to win an AoE game, which is going skirmishers when you're behind in economy.
Well, going skirmishers when your opponent has siege as well. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's...
he goes skirms, and then the siege arrives. It's the only thing that could maybe be worse than that is if your opponent had a lot of knights. But Liereyy, he's playing it like his home map. The game 1 was the neutral map. Game 2 was TaToH's home map. This is still Lierey's map in the play all 3. The tower will go up, and he'll say, yeah, not bothered about that, TaToH. I know you probably don't have enough back there. And 3 solid games from Liereyy. I mean, he played good the first 2 rounds, but he played great today. That was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, nothing against TaToH. I mean, Liereyy beats almost every player in the world just as handily there. Like, I think TaToH still played pretty well. It's tough, man.
Actually, I misspoke, by the way. I said that Liereyy played good the first 2 games, and then he played great the final one. I actually meant the sets. He played great every single game today. I
knew what you meant.
Like, there's definitely got to be a point in there in game number 1 and game number 2 when you're being so competitive on water, when the KD's even, that you end the game, the KD's even, and Lierey's in castle age 3 minutes faster than you in game number 1. Game number 2, like, you're on 3 TCs. How many times did he have to work in and out of his docks and sneak hawks, like, and it still didn't break Liereyy? Like, damn, dude, Liereyy, he's undefeated. He's 9-0 so far this season. So Liereyy is absolutely loving the whole $30 per win. He's raking in the cash with that, but he's got his eyes set on first place in the group, obviously. But we have never had someone go undefeated. Remember that.
Yeah, and Liereyy will probably sweep Repard unless something absolutely silly happens, which I would be there for. But yeah, unless Barles can get a win there, it's going to be tough for anyone to stop Liereyy in this group.
Yeah. Well, you know, Repard is like Licks, 0-6. They're promoted players who Repard at least had the best run of his career to even get to Plat. Has not been good. So yeah, I would expect Liereyy does sweep him there. And then, yeah, Liereyy Barles, I mean, I think Lierey's going to be the favorite, of course. But, yeah, maybe Barles is going to be the one to slow him down a little. But for Barles and Repard, you snag one win against Liereyy when everyone else is getting swept. Could be really nice as long as you string some other results together.
Yeah, and indeed, and Barles still has to go through MBL, and then he has Licks first. So,
yeah,
he still has 2 of the stronger players in the group left, so that's still going to be an important one. And MBL Barles actually could be like determining who gets 3rd and 4th, and obviously there's a huge difference there between being able to move on to the playoffs and just kind of sitting in platinum.
I feel like it's not that like surprising to people right now, but according to the odds, 90% chance for Liereyy to be first in the group. For TaToH, very little chance he gets first after that result. But that's the same with everybody right now. So I think the big combo there is with 2nd and 3rd place going playoffs, who is going to be left out between Barles, TaToH, and MBL? And I think it would likely come down to the sets where those players play each other, in theory. If it's the same result against Liereyy, if they all get swept by Liereyy, if everybody 3-0s Licks and Rapard, then it's just how do they perform when they play the other two? And yeah, I mean, we'll see.
All right, this is what's going to happen, T90. Liereyy sweeps everybody, and then TaToH, Barrels, and MBL all sweep Licks and Repard. And then they go 2-1 in a circle against each other. And then we go down to every single possible tiebreaker.
I was going to say, well, did you see what ended up happening in the one group at the top with in Silver League?
Yes, yes.
Silver League, we had 10, 10, and 10 at the top three. And so it was triple tiebreak. It was Cosmonaut getting first place in the group because he had more set wins, which is the first tiebreak. And then Husiel was over Gabby because they had the same amount of set wins. Second tiebreak was their head-to-head series.
Yep.
So maybe it's something like that, but it's for second through fourth place. Yeah, that's likely.
And I mean, there's a huge difference there. I mean, at least in the Silver League, everyone's going to the playoffs. Or, I mean, Cosmonaut's going right up to Gold League, but it's not like that big of a deal because everyone's still like competitive. But like, this could be someone just gets eliminated off of tiebreakers, which, I mean, that's just how it is.
I can't help just knowing Licks and knowing how he can just have a really chaotic style and really improve and just, you never know what you're going to get from him. I feel like he's going to have Licks and Rapard are definitely going to get a win or two here.
Oh, yeah,
and it's going to really mess with either Barrels, TaToH, or MBL. That's my theory. Like, whether it's TaToH, Rapard the last round, Rapard's already going down. He wants to ruin TaToH's chances of playoffs. MBL Licks last round, like, something's going to happen there, I think. But, yeah, likely Licks and Rapard go down. So,
yeah, makes sense.
All right, cool. Well, Ornlu, thanks again for joining, man. Great cast.
Of course.
I will reach out again for more
thanks.
casting.
Always fun, man. Glad I can help out.
Coming in. Alrighty, dude. We'll take care. Thank you.
See you later. Uh-huh. Now, I think we're done for the day. Not for a corgi. Yes, we're done for the day. Corgi wants done. So the corgi will be done. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. See you next time.